Muy buenas tardes, familia. Bienvenidos a todos ustedes. Rápidamente por acá les saluda a su amigo Alexis Adam. Estamos ahora sí, ya me parece que estamos totalmente en vivo en lo que va a ser este gran evento virtual. Les doy la cordial bienvenida. Vamos rápidamente a ver si ya estamos por acá transmitiendo. Quiero mencionarle que tenemos corriendo lo que es un evento totalmente en vivo. Así de que les doy la cordial bienvenida a cada uno de ustedes que ya está por acá en las plataformas. Rápidamente, déjenme ver si ya estamos transmitiendo en vivo. Quiero asegurar, obviamente, que estemos en vivo. Ahí está, me dice el sistema que estamos en vivo, así de que familia, quiero mencionarle el propósito de este video, precisamente es un evento virtual que tenemos en inglés. En este momento, préstele mucha atención, esto va a durar un promedio de 2 horas y media, aprovechelo a lo máximo, conecte a toda su gente, todos sus prospectos, todos sus invitados, todas sus amistades, conéctelos a lo que va a ser este evento. Así es de que aquí rápidamente me estoy enlazando a lo que va a ser este gran evento. Préstele mucha atención. El evento es en inglés con los top líderes de lo que es nuestra industria. Así es de que adelante, corre video. Estoy por acá rápidamente ya conectándome a lo que va a ser este evento. Permítame un segundito y acá arrancamos.
A lot of companies are doing that. That's nothing new, but now it's really in the forefront of our minds. So we've got to.
Yeah. And that's exactly what he did in 30 days. So this isn't just in an 8-week period. He said, I'm going to go do this and I'm going to do it in a big way. That's just what John does, is when he makes a decision, he typically just goes and he does it. So, John, I'm so thankful to be partnered with you. We've known one another for a decade now, and you've seen the ups and the downs and the ebbs and the flows and the peaks and the valleys. We've had some great times, we've had some challenging times, but guess what? You're a committed warrior. You've been steadfast through some of the pains. You've created some gains. And now here we are in a perfect storm where there is a surge coming, and we're so close now to that integration. Share with everyone quickly your background, your success with these products, and then an action, what you're excited about as we move into the rest of the event.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Chris, for having me. And of course, today is an awesome day and adjustment from a normal live meeting, and we always pack it out to a virtual live. And so we will get back to those, Chris, as you know, but this is the next best thing. And so what people are doing right now is using technology to build their business just like we are. And so what I've been trying to do during this time is make adjustments, as Chris was saying. But about 9.5 years ago, Chris, D. Hutchins, who is new to the business, he talked to me about the Z word, the Zija, and I wasn't interested. And D had to drip on me for about a year before I really became interested. When he started making a substantial income, that kind of piqued my interest on things, Chris. And it's one of those things, I knew what you were doing, I knew how successful you were, but I didn't know you. I knew D. And so I needed results from D before I was going to do anything. And so I was very assistant principal, head baseball coach. I'm a father. I have 3 great kids that are now 15, 13, and 8. And can you believe time flies like that? It's been almost 10 years, Chris, 9.5 to be exact, when I got started. And when we met at Applebee's there back on November 22nd, yesterday, I said, I'm going to do this in a big way. You said, we'll see, and we'll see. You had that little smile there, and I said, you're daggone right, we will. And so these last 9.5 years, I've been blessed, I've been fortunate, and it's one of those things that the opportunity was there. I just had to do something with it. And I, like lots of other people, was very, very busy. But here's the thing, I knew that network marketing worked, but I also knew that some things had to take place if they were going to work in a big way. Number one, you had to have a proven company with a proven, and you had to have a team that's going to support and help you. And I checked it out the best of my ability, and all of those things were there. I love what I heard. I saw people getting results who had no experience results. And most people probably understand that 85% of companies are based with customers, and that's people using the product over and over. And that's exactly what Zija did. It's exactly what Isagenix is mostly customers, and that's what builds that residual income. And Chris, I knew that this worked, but you had to have kind of the perfect storm and all those in place. And so, you know, fast forward a few years, I worked this part-time, very, very hard, like you did, so that I could reap the rewards for my family, because I wanted more than what I had. And so we were doing fine financially, but we wanted to be able to do a little more. And so when I got in, you know, my goal in the beginning, Chris, was $1,000 extra a month. When I hit that pretty quickly, it soon turned into bigger numbers. But it's one is I'm kind of following your lead, because the incredible team that you created, the incredible support that you had given and have given through the years, just kind of helped put things in place. And so with that, Chris, as we head through this training, really a blessing here, because a few months ago when we found out that we were acquired by Isagenix, of course, there were a lot of questions. There was a lot of uncertainty. There was a lot of things that we just didn't know. And we only know that change is one of those things that is going to happen. It's just you have to adjust to it. And so at the time, I was thinking that, you know, what's going to happen? Where is this going to lead us? And look a better spot, because these companies pretty much mirror itself as far as the products, as far as the comp plan, as far as the integrity owners. And we couldn't have asked for a better company to go into. Ken Brailsford, I appreciate everything he did, because we are the Moringa company. We were the Moringa company, and Ken did all he needed to do in order to keep his legacy going. And that's what Ken said. He wanted a legacy company, which he has, a legacy product, and he's been able to incorporate this into Isagenix. And so we had talked about ago about Zija 2.0 and having a better comp plan and having a IT system that's great, having shipping that works, having great marketing. We really didn't know it was going to be like this. And so we looked for it, and we were hoping for it. And through those ups and downs, it really didn't happen the way we expected. But as we know, sometimes in life, we don't know how we're going to come to where we're going to end up. But looking back, Chris, this could not have been a more perfect situation, because we are going into a health and giant wellness with a wellness giant with Isagenix, that we take our products, we add products, we have a compensation plan that's on steroids here. So we take our business at Sarah, Chris, we don't have to start over, and we're able to get more upfront bonuses. We're able to get a huge increase in our residual income. We're able to offer more products, have a world-class company that is proven, have a company that is going to be supportive from a marketing standpoint, and anything and everything, Chris, that they said they were going to do, they are either doing it or have done it. And so, you know, Chris, we're within 60 days of going into the ISA comp plan. I'm very, very excited. Cannot wait, as I know most of you cannot either. And I think right now is a crucial time to go back and introduce this to people that maybe said no to Zija, that, hey, this is a new deal. This is a ground floor deal with Isagenix. We have the best of the best of what we had, but we're going to get even better from what we're going into. It's like going on a great runway and going into an unbelievable plane, that a 747 when we were in a helicopter before. So it's one of those things that the vehicle is here, Chris. It's just, what are we going to do with it? And I think the thing that people can do now is take massive action. Most of us have talked to people till we're blue in the face about Zija. So this gives us another talking point. And so Zija is incredible and will always be incredible. And I love the products. And Chris, as we mentioned here real quick, the weight loss journey, when I got started, I said, hey, look, I have to be a product of the product. You know, it's kind of one of those things, the pounds just kind of started creeping up. It was winter time, and that's what happens. And when it becomes spring, I usually lose a little bit, but not like I have. But I said, hey, Chris, I'm going to do this for 30 days, verbatim, by the book. And I did. And I can tell you that cleanse day is the key. Being able to have a system that you follow, being able to have everything in place, Chris. And I was able to lose, as you see there, the 22.5 pounds in a little less than a month. And I was under 200 pounds last week for the first time in about 20 years. And so far I've lost right at about 30 pounds. I've been able to kind of maintain there. Although the last 30 days I've done it, it's been for 60 days. The last 30 days, I haven't done it as religiously as the first 30, which I lost a lot more weight. But that's the thing, you know, once you get down and you can do it, then it's easier to know what you need to do if you need to do it again. And so right now, my goal, if I can just maintain, Chris, where I am now, that's a true win-win for me. So I feel better. I had more energy. And I said, hey, look, I got to be a product of the product and show people this works, which that was my goal. And I'm glad I got those type of results. Now, did I know I would get that? I had no idea, but I did. And so I'm excited I followed that plan. As far as Crystal Executive, I said the same thing. Hey, I got to lead from example, lead from the front. Although I've been in it for a while, I got to find a way to do it. So I put a plan in place that when the first week it hit that I was going to be, and that was my goal, and I was able to accomplish that. So I think a lot of times, Chris, we have to not only make those goals, but we especially have to put an action plan in place to do that. And as leaders, we always heard it, and it's the truth, is that everything rises and falls on leadership. And we have to lead from the front, lead by example from a business building standpoint and from a product standpoint. And so that's my goal. And as we transition into this, we got 60 days. And now is the time to be reactivating your former customers, your current customers. Let them know about the opportunity that's there and the runway that we're getting ready to go on and the vehicle that we're getting ready to jump in. Because, Chris, right now, this is the perfect storm. Because with all the craziness that's going on in society, with all the stay-home stuff and the Zooms and the smartphone and meeting, we can work our business from home with our phone and with our computer. And what more could people ask for is a business that is the perfect business. Network marketing, you're basically marketing with a network of people and you're getting paid, not like a traditional business, because a lot of these you're going to go out of business. And I really feel sorry for a lot of people who started their own business in the last few years, because it's going to be very, very difficult. But for us, we don't have to have the inventory, the upfront capital, all that stuff's taken care of. And so coming out of this, a lot of people are going to say, hey, I need to look at a plan B. And we're a plan B, and sometimes a plan A. It's just we have to be ready to talk to people. So coming out of this, we have to make sure that we're ready to talk to people about an opportunity for financial either freedom or for financial gain. And then also we have to be able to talk to them about the health and wellness. So Chris, a perfect marriage with finances and health and wellness. And I want to thank you for putting this together. An incredible event here. Proud to be a part of it. Proud to be partnering with you, buddy. And back to you.
Well, John, I appreciate all those nuggets, and there were plentiful of nuggets in your message, in your short story, and what great validation to start this virtual event. You know, as I've said many times before, you got to start strong and finish strong. That's what we're doing here to start this virtual event. We've had great validation and great wisdom from Joanne and John. And then we're going to continue here, John, as we move into our first speaker, which is none other than co-founder Kathy Coover, who has a heart for people. And one of the things that I loved when I visited Isagenix is I learned very quickly that they're an associate-first company. They look with every decision that they make the decision based on how that's going to impact an associate, whether you're new, whether you're seasoned, whether you make a lot of money, whether you make just a little bit of money. They look out for your best interest, and I love that they have a heart for the associates. And the other thing that I love about Kathy, and you'll hear this real quick, is her passion, her conviction for this company and these products and this opportunity and all of you, and the fact that she's not just a corporate founder or been in the corporate field. She's been in the field. She's been in the trenches. She's rolled her sleeves up. She's faced and embraced adversity throughout her career. She started in a company, rose to the top. That company let her down. She did it again, rose to the top. That company let her down. She's been a top earner of 3 different network marketing companies. So she comes from a perspective of where we look, how we view things. She understands because she's been where we are, where we're going. And so, Kathy, if you can just share with everyone your vision on Isagenix, why Isagenix, why now, and just love you being a part of this virtual event today.
Hi, everyone. Kathy Cooper here, and welcome to the Super Saturday. We're so sorry we couldn't be there in person. Jim and I were really looking forward to meeting you all and getting to know you better, but it's just the way it is. So I'm here to share a little bit about my story. I started in network marketing in 1992 because I wanted to get out of my profession. I was a dental hygienist and I was burned out and looking for a way out. And Jim encouraged me to go into network marketing. He saw something in me that I didn't see in myself. So I jumped in and I was very fortunate to do very, very well with that company. I was frontline to the company, so there was no tools or anything. So I had to create all the tools and the training for that company. And I just watched other successful people did in other companies and modeled what they did. And it was a great, great ride for me for about 5.5 years. They sold the company and I was forced to build another one. And I'll tell you what, that was my biggest success ever. The second time was a lot easier. And, but unfortunately they had regulatory issues. So I built another one, a third time. And after that, September 11th hit and the company couldn't make it. And so anyway, but I really believe all that stuff that I went through prepared me for Isagenix to be the leader I am and to learn what to do and what not to do and how to respect the field and admire the field and really work with the field to help them succeed and help them achieve their dreams and goals. So I'm very, very passionate about our field leadership. And I started the motto, if it's not right for our associates, it's not right for the company. And another thing I started too was I wanted to create more 6- and 7-figure earners than any other company because I truly believe that health is wealth. And we all can appreciate that right now, that everyone needs to have a side business. They truly do. Because you never know what's going to happen to your career or anything, and you need to be prepared. So I've walked in your shoes, I've done all these things, and I know that many of you are going through a transition period, and thank you for your patience. There's only about 60 more days to go. It's going to go by very, very quickly, and we'll be integrated, and I'm so excited about that. I'm excited about the leaders that are in Zija, true leaders, and that's why we purchased the company, really, because we saw the quality of the people, that they would fit into our culture, and that's so important. Our culture is very, very important to us. And we want you to have it all. We truly do. And I know that you've been very patient, and but it's getting exciting. And I'm really proud of all of you. So many of you are going for it. You're reaching different ranks, manager, director, and executive. And we're grateful that you are stepping into that stride and really getting the Isagenix vision and the Isagenix story and our tools and our products. And if you really think about it, really this transition has been great because it wasn't just slam dunk and you're in. It's just that you've got time to learn all the things that we have, available to us. So we're almost there. We're almost to the home stretch right now. And I'm excited about that. I'm sure you're going to have an amazing event with a lot of great trainers. And then, of course, you want to tune in to our virtual celebration. I'm expecting to have 20,000 to 30,000 people on this event. And it's going to be incredible. We're masterminding it right now, really to help everyone just have access to free training, support, mentorship by some of our top leaders. So what I would tell you why now is the perfect time to be involved with this company. We are doing things that you will not believe. We are reinventing Isagenix because we're 18 years young and we want to be around for another decades and decades and decades and decades and pass this on to create a legacy for all of you because you know how important that is. Many of you have been through a lot and we're committed. We're totally committed to this journey with you. And it's a perfect time because we are coming up with some incredible new enhancements to our product. I'm sure Dr. Josh is going to be on and explain some of those. It's really amazing. We're evolving. You're going to see a new website coming up in January. You're going to see some additions to our existing website with new messaging, new tools available to you. I'm really excited about one of them. It's like a little robot that will be in your back office that will help you manage your tools and manage your organization and all those things that you need. Your little virtual assistant. So we're doing things unbelievable to support and grow this company. And I really believe when we marry everyone together, it's just going to explode. We're seeing some great growth right now. We're seeing lots of rank advancements. We're seeing new leaders emerged. And, I reflect back in 2008, 2009, when we had Isagenix during that horrible recession. Oh, I'm telling you, everybody was so frightened. And then all of a sudden, the magic happened. The new leaders started emerging. And those leaders that came in at that time have really propelled and been with Isagenix for a long time. And that's exactly what's happening right now. You are many of the new leaders that are coming into our company, and then you're lighting up new people all around you, really to share our vision, really to make a difference in people's health and their wealth. So we have everything set for you. I've never been so excited about our future and where we're going as a team. And I've had a great time getting to know many of the leaders in Zija. And so once again, thank you. Thank you for your partnership. Thank you for your loyalty. And there's nothing like the field. There truly isn't. And this full integration should happen right at the same time that big event does on July 17th and 18th. So we're pushing as hard as we can to make this transition easy on you. So thank you for all you do. Have the most amazing event ever. I wish I could be there, but we'll have to plan another one in the fall and do it again. So thanks for all you do, and thanks for putting this event on.
Well, thank you, Kathy, and we appreciate so much your time. We know it's super valuable, and we're so excited to be a part fully of Isagenix in the near future here, and we appreciate your servant leadership and all that you do. We're going to move now into Dr. Plant, Chief Science Officer, Product Formulator, #1. Maybe put in the comments, #1, Harvard. You may have heard of Harvard. And also what we call the person we call the Godfather. He's a multi-million-dollar earner. He introduced me to this industry, and they're going to do a little back and forth, a little sparring as it relates to some Q&A with the product. So Dee, I'll turn it over to you, and you guys can have a nice little Q&A here.
Great to see you, Dr. Plant.
Thank you, Dee. Good to be here.
Awesome. Listen, for those that are meeting Dr. Plant for the first time, he's a husband and a father with actually 4 children, graduated first in his class at Harvard Medical School with a degree in biomedical sciences. And I could go on and say a few more things about things that Dr. Plant has done that are pretty impressive, but just know this, he could have easily taken a job at really any hospital or pharmaceutical company that he would desire to work for, but he decided to go down a different path. And fortunately for us, Dr. Plant decided to work on creating natural foods and products, and also educating people and helping them to understand the importance of taking care of themselves properly, doing things right the first time at the beginning instead of waiting until something happens. And so he's had an incredible impact on health over in the overall Western world where we all live. And so, Dr. Plant, today we wanted to gain some clarification, kind of focus in on some of the main all-natural foods and other products that we have available to us. And since you have your hand on creating many of them or assisting with many of them, we couldn't think of a better source to help us. So you ready to get started?
Yeah, absolutely. Excited for this. And hopefully everyone's staying safe right now during this time, but looking forward to answering these questions.
Awesome. Well, listen, Isagenix has offered a natural solution for those who desire to age in a healthy manner. Now, you and I are both aging. I think really everybody's aging. And I hope that everybody desires to age in a healthy manner. But besides that, this system also helps people to balance their weight. Now, this system is 18 years old. It's been clinically studied and has proven results. Can you start us off today by giving us a quick overview of the three main components of this system, basically Isolene Shake, Cleanse for Life, and Onyx?
Yeah, so the whole idea behind this system is to really help individuals create a healthy relationship with food. And right now what we are facing in the Western world is where food has been manipulated in such a way it's not designed to satiate, but it's designed to arouse your appetites. And this is steamrolled into a lifestyle for the masses that is exceptionally unhealthy. We're consuming 600 calories more a day than we did about 30 or 40 years ago. Additionally, we find ourselves consuming the wrong types of foods. We're consuming upwards of 10 times the amount of sugar we should, and a variety of other factors. And so what has happened is you have these neurotransmitters in your body, specifically dopamine. That fire is called our reward signal. As it's firing, it tells us to keep doing. And the food system has hijacked that to where it keeps arousing that appetite. One of my favorite examples is a potato chip company. They used to have the slogan, "I bet you can't eat just one." That speaks volumes to really how the food industry works today. They want you to try that first one. It's designed to then stimulate that dopamine, causing you to consume more and more. Well, this, as I said before, is steamrolling our long-term health and wellness. In fact, we know that a lot of the challenges we face today are directly attributed to that which we put into our mouth or our inactive lifestyle. And so to help us have a healthy relationship with food, the Isagenix system was created, and there's three components to that system. The first are shakes. The second is called Cleanse for Life, and the third is called Onyx. And each of these play an integral part to help us create a new lifestyle, not a diet, a new lifestyle behavior, which is so important. And so the first part of this is called those Isolene shakes. What these shakes have been designed to do is to help you feel full. And as I said before, that's actually rather novel in today's industry. The shakes aren't designed to make you want more. They're not designed to make you coming back for more and more and more. Actually, they're designed to satiate you. And so they're also designed with respect to the proper amounts of fats, carbs, and proteins, giving your body the complete macro components needed to be alert, awake, and high energy. So many fad diets out there ultimately limit one component and leave you ultimately wanting more or sluggish or unable to actually make a sustainable life. So the idea is you'll have one of these shakes for breakfast and you'll have another one for lunch. And then you have a sensible dinner of about 600 calories or so. And what you're doing is you're ultimately helping your body recalibrate itself to the actual nutrition it needs. Right? We are absolutely calibrated wrong because of the food that we're exposed to. We're watching commercials. It's making us want more. We smell certain foods as we walk past a restaurant. It tells us we're hungry when in actuality we're not. So by having these shakes and the reasonable lunch, our true appetite gets into harmony of what we want. We're able to more effectively have a little bit and say no afterwards. So you'll do that. And then one day a week, you won't have the shakes and you won't have your meal. This is called your cleanse day. And during this day, you'll take that Cleanse for Life product every 4 hours. And the importance of cleansing goes beyond weight loss. In fact, this whole system is not necessarily designed exclusively for weight loss, but that's just one of the benefits that come with it. In essence, it's an easy metric to measure people getting healthier. It's a lifestyle meant for individuals looking to lose weight, individuals looking to put on muscle, individuals looking to just save money to where you're not spending so much at a fast food joint, you're now ultimately just spending about $3 per serving of a shake. And so with this one day a week, you'll do this cleanse. This is critical because this cleanse is very important to, one, detoxify the body. Scientists have shown extended periods of time of low caloric consumption, your body will actually release what are called forever toxins. These things we're exposed to so many on a regular basis, and they just live inside our body. But as we go through this extended period of time with low calories, our body begins to release it into our bloodstream, which then we can our kidneys and liver and so forth, filter that out, and then we excrete that. Cleanse for Life is a product you take every 4 hours on cleanse day that ultimately empowers and more effectively utilizes your kidneys and liver to help remove those toxins, utilizing a powerful combination of herbs as well as regulating your blood sugar levels. And so as that happens, you are more effectively detoxifying your body. This is very important on numerous aspects. Additionally, what happens is those serotonin levels. Serotonin is one of those neurotransmitters that tells us we're hungry. That begins to be balanced. You'll find you'll start off the day pretty hungry, but as you're cleansing, those serotonin levels get balanced, and it's a true calibration of what your appetite is, setting the stage for the next week as you're utilizing those shakes and that third meal. Additionally, as your day progresses, as you're cleansing, they have shown that your body will actually make its own HGH. That is why individuals who practice this lifestyle show a tremendous retention of lean muscle mass compared to other like heart-healthy diets. And it's largely attributed to the HGH that individuals may be making while on that cleanse day. And then there's also a wonderful process that happens during this called autophagy. Autophagy, autophagy, that means self-eating. Now that doesn't mean you're getting so hungry on a cleanse day that you start to gnaw on your own arm. Rather, what that means is you have these old cells that aren't functioning optimally. And what happens is during this time of autophagy, over this extended period of time, younger, more vibrant cells actually consume those older cells and recycle the components. This is very critical. It's like an oil change for your body. And if it's not done regularly, what happens is you get to build up grime, and ultimately that engine can seize. The same holds true for our body. And so it's so critical that you can do that cellular oil change via a process called autophagy. Now, that's the shakes. You'll take 6 days a week. Cleanse for life, you take the 1 day a week. You're not taking the shakes. And then the one product you take every day of the week is called Ionics, so breathe. What this does is this utilizes botanicals called adaptogens. Adaptogens are a unique set of botanicals that have been shown to help lower the body's stress response. Now, the bodies will look at anything as stressful. In fact, the main reason that many of us aren't able to actually create healthy habits in our life, even though they are exceptionally healthy, even though we have every desire to do so, is that our body looks at any change as stressful. And so that's why everyone who has a good intent to go out and exercise and create a daily routine of exercising may only last a few days, is because their body is saying, this is stressful, this is stressful. And it's actually preventing you from creating that lifestyle change. Utilizing those adaptogens, your body will lower that stress response, making it more likely for you to create this lifestyle change. In fact, there's been some wonderful studies that have shown people that have taken an adaptogen, you've heard a lot of these, rhodiola rosea, ashwagandha, a variety of different mushrooms. What happens is they actually look forward to exercise more. Their body doesn't look forward as stressful. They actually look forward to it. And so your body gets in touch with what it really looks at as healthy and can kind of bypass that stress response. And so by utilizing those three combinations, you're able to help control your appetite throughout the week, giving your body the proper calories, the maximum nutrition, and giving your body the proper balance so that it's set with the shakes. You're able to detoxify, calibrate your appetite, produce your HGH, and ultimately go through that autophagy oil, cellular oil change. And then also supplementing that in with the adaptogens each and every day. You're more likely to make this a lifestyle behavior rather than a week or two extreme diet. It is something that you embrace each and every day.
Fantastic. Well, listen, many of us have been using Supermix or XM Plus to start our day for years, and many of us don't even eat breakfast. And so when it comes to the isoline shake, the days we're using the shake, you said a couple times a day, is starting our day with Supermix or XM Plus sufficient, and maybe taking the place of the shake, where you do the shake one time a day, Supermix XM Plus in the morning? What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so you're not going to want to use the Supermix or XM Plus as replacement for the shake. The shake has, for example, a lot of the macros that are needed to keep you satiated. So for example, it has 24 grams of protein, it has the fats, it has the carbohydrates. What you would find with something like Supermix is the power of the Moringa oleifera plant to give your body the critical vital compounds it needs. So I would say the one limitation on the shakes is that you're not getting those critical phytocompounds, right? And unless you're disciplined in that third meal, it's likely you're not getting them through your day. And so by utilizing something as Supermix, which has given you the most nutritiously dense botanical on earth, Moringa and all of the unique phytocompounds that come with that, your body is getting those critical components necessary for optimal health and nutrition. And so it's one of those things to where you don't want to use it as a replacement for the shake, but rather as a powerful supplement in addition to that shake, giving you those greens, so to speak, that is so critical that in many ways, many of us are just simply not getting into our diet.
Right. Well, listen, Ice Lean Shake, a lot of them are obviously whey-based. So what advice can you share with those folks who are lactose intolerant or have been advised to avoid dairy products in their diets?
Yep, that's a great question. And first thing I want to say is July is going to be a really good launch of products. Dr. Plant will be unveiling some plants coming in July very, very soon. This is something that I've been working on for quite some time here at Isagenix. But also at this time, right, what you'll notice in the isolated shakes is there's also the accompanying of powerful enzymes, for example, like the lactase, which will break down the lactose and a variety of others. Additionally, in this, the reason that a lot of people respond differently on the isolated shakes versus the typical whey-based shakes is it's also an undenatured whey. What that means is whey is a very complicated protein structure. And what will happen is a lot of times people will use a denatured whey. In fact, I think everyone else does. And what that does is that breaks down what are called those cysteine bonds. So you have this globular whey protein, and when you denature it, you break down these cysteine bonds, which then makes it a very linear. Now, when that hits your body, it responds completely different versus that globular. And as that globular protein hits your body responds to it more appropriately as food. And so that's why individuals maybe respond a little bit better to the whey protein shakes in Isagenix versus the others, is that quality, that undenatured, very stable protein structure that is there that allows your body to slowly digest that over time to prevent that type of uncomfortable experience.
Awesome. Well, you touched on Cleanse for Life very well. I want to ask a couple of questions related to Cleanse Day again. One of those is, I know there's a point system and there's lots of great tasting Isagenix products that people can use on to help them through their intermittent fasting day, or what we refer to as Cleanse Day. But I've gotten a lot of questions from people saying, hey, what is my caloric intake limit on a 24 to 36 hour fast? What would you try to keep it under?
So you want to keep it around 400 to 500 a day.
Okay, and that's a 24 to 40 or 36 hour fast.
Well, that'd be about 24. So if you do a 36 or 48 hour, then you obviously, so every 24 hours, you want to keep it around 500 calories. And you also want to make sure that it's not just junk calories, right? You're wanting, the key for that is, hey, I'm going to get my 500 calories. I'm going to get them all at once. And then what that does is that ultimately causes your blood sugar spike to happen and insulin response, and you've defeated that cleanse purpose. So the idea is by utilizing, we try to make it as easy as possible with having those Isagenix approved snacks. And then those take into account the variety. We have a team of nutritionists and scientists that have ultimately put those together to where they assign credits. And so that you can get those 10 credits throughout the day, because it's not just calories, there's a variety of other components in there that they weigh. And so you utilize those 10 credits throughout the day so that your body responds appropriately in that. And one of the key features of making sure that you're able to optimize that cleanse day experience.
Well, one question piggybacking on that, let's say, for example, I'm sitting around and a banana looks pretty healthy, or an apple. If I was to eat a banana, does the fructose in there, would that be something I would be concerned about as far as causing a spike or offsetting my fast?
So it's a very hit or miss on the types of fruits and vegetables. I would say largely no. Due to the eating a whole fruit, you're likely fine. In the sense that fructose is accompanied in a fibrous component, but it regulates that blood sugar from spiking. What you'd want to avoid, though, is a banana's okay, but an orange juice is not. And what happens is typically orange juice, they've removed that fibrous component, and so you would find a huge spike in your blood sugar once you drink that orange juice. In fact, doctors usually will recommend for somebody who's diabetic, you maybe have low sugar, they don't say go drink soda. they usually will say go drink orange juice, because orange juice will actually raise your blood sugar faster than even soda, because you're giving them that fructose without any of the fibrous component of that whole food that comes with it. And it's completely different response than that of an orange. And so there's some complexity behind that. And so if you're eating those whole fruits and vegetables on a cleanse day, very, very okay to do so. Try to keep it around 300 to 400 or so a day, those calories in there.
Okay. Obviously, discipline is required to do a fast. I mean, to get yourself in that routine of, just not eating. It's, we have people that obviously, many of us habitually have eaten, 3 full meals a day, and within all kinds of snacks and beverages in between, many times for years. So we're talking to people and trying to get them to shift their mindset and even just attempt a cleanse day. What are your thoughts on somebody maybe attempting a 12 to 18 hour fast? In other words, is that a okay way to start, and any advice on that?
Absolutely, absolutely. And the idea behind this is you want to get the individuals to get to where it is that lifestyle. The lifestyle changes don't happen in a blink of an eye, right? That's the whole idea behind this. And all of society is structured around food, unfortunately, right? I believe in many ways breakfast didn't exist until Mr. Kellogg came along, realizing he has a surplus of corn, and if he puts it into a flake and tells people the most important meal of the day is when you wake up, there wasn't that ideology before. And so what's happened is this whole thing around food of, hey, I want to get together and talk to my friend. Well, it's always easier to do it over food. In case there's a moment of silence, I can at least stuff my face, right? So we've built society all around food. I always give the example, right? Before I came to Isagenix, date night with my wife, it was always, let's go out to dinner. Hey, that's great, we enjoyed it. But what's different is with this mindset, what happens is we still have date night, but we do something much more creative and fun. We'll go hiking, we'll go get a couples massage, whatever it is, and it's not centered around food. And so as this paradigm shift happens, people will find themselves, oh my goodness, not nearly as restricted to where everything is centered around food. You find yourself much more open to the variety of different things that are out there. And it takes time. It definitely takes time. And then what will happen, usually at about I would say between days 40 and 60, is people begin to look forward to those cleanse days. The HGH, the serotonin, the autophagy, they see that. And the key, I think, to success in this is finding an accountability partner. My wife and I, we cleanse together. So that way she's not making a dinner knowing that I'm cleansing and it's going to be me sitting there awkwardly staring. We're cleansing together to where our kids who don't cleanse for the full 24 hours, right? They will have the dinner, but she just makes it for them, and her and I kind of do our thing, right? And so it's this way of finding that accountability partner that really helps in many ways.
Awesome. Well, you mentioned Onyx. You talked about how it provides adaptogens. When is the best time to use Onyx, and can it be mixed with other beverages?
Yep. The answer to that is in the morning, typically before the behavior you're wanting to kind of do. So before your morning workout would be optimal, would be great. And can you combine it? Absolutely. In fact, combine it with a super mix would be a great option.
Okay. Many of us have been giving our children super mix or smart mix for years. The products you just shared, this system, how should we approach the usage of these products with our children?
Shakes, completely fine, right? The shakes are a food, utilizing that. The Onyx utilizes adaptogens, so just because of the adaptogens and the nature of the herbs that cleanse, we usually recommend 16 and over. But the shakes, very fine with them, as well as a lot of the Isagenix snacks. So my kids absolutely gravitate towards the Harvest-Ins. That's my daughter's go-to. I always give it like the garlic and herb, very strong, savory flavor. So I always encourage her to take one of those right before she goes out on a date, because no boy's going to want to kiss her with that breath. And so there's great advantages across those, but a lot of the herbal supplements we kind of recommend a 16 and over.
Awesome. Well, let's switch gears very quickly as we wind down here in a few moments, talk about CBD for a second. We know there's many different businesses marketing CBD, many different delivery methods. Some of us have learned about the different issues that CBD is shown to help with, and many of us have learned about the endocannabinoid system, which looks that they can be, for everybody, it looks to raise people's wellness. But Can you share your thoughts on the CBD products we have available right now versus the competition?
Yeah. So in Isagenix, I actually have it right here. We have a tincture, right? What we've done, this is something that you can apply topically and absorb through the skin. One of the key features with Isagenix versus other companies is we are probably one of the largest companies to be launching a CBD product. And the power that comes behind that, to where we are actually been able to work and have a farm that is exclusive to Isagenix. That gives us the ability to control and utilize organic principles. Now, a lot of people say, hey, we have organic CBD. I will tell you right now that there is no certified organic CBD on the market. And if they're claiming it is, run, because they are blatantly lying. The challenge that you have is right now CBD is still kind of in this limbo state. It's not approved as a supplement and it's not approved as a food. And because it's not approved as either one of those, what happens is you can't have a certified organic because they can only certify supplements and foods. And so it's one where there's no certifying body that will give that organic certification. And due to that, what we wanted to do is we wanted to make sure that we were in a position to make sure that those principles are still intact. So by having a farm exclusive to us, we can ensure that there's no pesticides being used. We can make sure that the distillation process is happening properly, that we can test over and over again to make sure that the THC levels, the banned component in the hemp plant, is well below the regulatory amount, and a variety of other components, making sure that individuals who are utilizing this are utilizing it in a safe, topical way for the benefits that they're looking for.
Awesome. As you know, Dr. Plant, I've been a dedicated consumer and share of many of Zija's products, obviously, for probably 12 years, natural foods and products. My wife and I have been blown away by the results that we've seen personally with following the Isagenix system. One thing I'm very excited about is Isagenix encourages everyone to be active. They offer the IsoBody challenges and basically create a culture of community exercise and wellness. As we wind this up, can you share with us some of the top 2 or 3 main fitness supplements under the heading of AMPed that Isagenix offers?
Yeah. So the key things with this is, in fact, I think it might be here in the next few days. The publication that we have regarding this will be going live, to where we've done studies on these products to show the absolute tremendous results people get with this. This is third-party results. And the ones that I'm going to talk about are not. What this is a powerful, powerful product that people take. It's a little shot, and it utilizes an extreme amount of beetroot and a variety of other things to dilate the vessels and increase nitric oxide in the body. This is very, very powerful, similar to the prime that you have, but we actually show even better results with that compared to the prime due to the liquid atmosphere of it. So you just simply put it in, swish it around in your mouth for about 10 seconds, and then consume. Really a way to get that immediate effect for that great pump, and especially important for endurance athletes. And I can tell you right now, when I go on my extended bike rides, the first 20 minutes, it's going to be about relatively the same. Where you find the difference are 20 minutes to like the 90 minutes, to where you're getting that increased blood flow throughout is so critical with that NOx. Very, very powerful. The next is where we have this pre-workout, right? We have ones with and without. So powerful, giving your body the creatine, the edge that you need to get those things. Those would be the nitro products that we have in the AMPed line. So critical to get you what you're looking for. And then this is something that's wonderful. In fact, if you guys are ever wanting to make a creamsicle, utilize the Repair, which is an orange flavor, combine it with the vanilla isoline shake, and it tastes like a creamsicle. The Repair is very critical to make sure that your body's recovering quickly so that you can go out and do it again, right? I always joke with everyone, right? Right now I'm in a little bit of a bicycling phase in my life. I love to go out and bike, mountain bike and gravel bike. And a guy with a bow tie who's the most uncoordinated, trying to stand up on 2 wheels, which still to this day defies physics in my opinion, right? To where I'm out biking and able to do it over and over again, where I'm much more comfortable reading a book. But those are the 3 products that I'll take regularly as I'm working out: the NOx, the Nitro, and Repair.
Fantastic.
Just quickly add, with those are actually Informed Sport certified, which is the highest rigor of that. So you have the NSF and the Informed. Informed Sport is actually more strenuous in making sure that those products are safe and readily consumed. So you can look for that Informed Sport logo on those AMPed products to feel confident about what you're taking if you're a competitive athlete.
Absolutely. Any final thoughts, Doc, before we close down?
No, thank you so much, Adi. I always enjoy working with you. You're a person who lives what you preach. 55 years old, looking great. Congratulations on your son graduating a Navy dive school like that, and a variety of the other achievements that are going to be coming here in a few short months probably. But congratulations on the life that you're living, and you're an inspiration to all of us. Thank you so much.
Hey, thanks for the kind words, Doc, and we all appreciate you and look forward to seeing you soon. Chris, back to you, Chris. Take care.
Well, thanks, Dee and Dr. Plant. I don't know about you, team, but every time Dr. Plant speaks, my brain sometimes hurts because of all of the knowledge bombs that he's dropping. And what an exciting time to be a part of Isagenix and also keep our core products, the products that we absolutely love. And what a better, there couldn't be a better person than Dee Hutchins. We call him the Godfather to have done that Q&A. So we appreciate you guys and all of your wisdom. But I want to move quickly here to another testimony, someone who has had incredible results on the Isagenix products. And you'll see somewhat of a difference in maybe some of the testimonies you've heard as it relates to people that's had great results on Zija and then they're transitioning to Isagenix and now they've had great results on Isagenix. I love her story. She's a crystal director, gold crystal executive, and that's Michelle, who never falters, Walters. And Michelle, if you don't mind, just share with everyone your background, where you're from. I know you have a family. I love, helping people, your teachers. So I love that commonality, but share your background if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure. Thanks for having me today. I am a teacher. I've been teaching for 25 years. I've done a little bit of kindergarten, first grade, third grade, so a little bit of everything. But I live here in Pennsylvania, and I've been a part of Zija for years. And I just really, I came to Zija because I was just passionate about health and I wanted to help other people. And so I started using the products myself. And as I was going through the journey, I will admit that I was a little frustrated. I was loving the products and I knew what Moringa could do for me, but I was frustrated that I was seeing all of my friends and family having these wonderful Zija stories, losing weight, and I had no story. But because of my passion for health and these products, and I knew what they could do for people, I continued to, use the products and promote them because I knew what they could do. And then in January, I guess we started television, and in March we got our hands on these wonderful products. And I said to Jason, this time I will have a story. And I've always been into health and fitness since college. I loved working out and I tried to eat healthy. So I was doing all of the right things, but my body wasn't getting something that it needed. And so in March, we started using the products, and each week I could just tell there was change in my body. And honestly, this was the only thing that I changed. I was still exercising the same way. I was still drinking the water. My sleep was the same. The only thing that was different were these products. And I just started creating little goals and habits, stacking habits that Jason talks to us about. And each month I would just, build on those habits. And over the past, I guess this is 10 weeks now that I've been using the products, I've lost 13 pounds. And I was never able to move the scale before with Zija. So I'm super excited that these products are just so simple to use. My husband is doing it with me. He will not step on the scale. I know that he's losing weight. I can tell when I put my arms around him, he's smaller, but I think that he's just waiting until the 16 weeks are up to see what that number is going to be and then surprise everybody. But he was a skeptic whenever these products came out, and I asked him if he wanted to do this with me. He just had every excuse to not do it. He was full enough, and he was going to be grumpy because he wasn't going to have enough food in his body. But he's just really doing an awesome job with these products too, and he follows the plan. He's nursing his knee because it's hurting him, and so he can't really exercise, but the weight's coming off because he's just following what this plan tells you, and it's so simple to do, which makes it so nice. And I just actually asked my team tonight and my group of Isagenix people that I'm just kind of stepping through the process of using these products for the first time, what they love about these products. And all of them in their comments to me said the simplicity of it, that it's laid out in front of you. All you have to do is follow it, and it's so simple to do. So that was like their big thing that they loved about it.
Talk to me a little bit about the importance, Michelle. I love that you've gotten your husband involved and he decided to take part. How important has that been? Because I know sometimes it would be the husband, the wife, the significant other, one does it, the other does, they're eating cookies and you're trying to do a cleanse day. How important has it been for both of you to be on the same page, supporting, encouraging, holding one another accountable in this process?
It's been awesome. Like I said, I asked him whenever I found out about these products, because when I started Zija, it took him a few months to hop on board. So we came to Kentucky, and for him to hear Jesse Brower stand up and talk, and some of the other men stand up and talk, it took him a little while to hop on the Zija, train to be using those products. So whenever I found out about these, I invited him to do it with me right away. I'm like, do you want to do this with me? And he did say yes right away, because he knew that if you guys are
regularly as I'm working out.
Some of the people before, even our team, there are so many awesome people that you can find someone to be accountable with, but having someone in the house to do it with is awesome, because we do follow our shake times are the same. And at the beginning, I was doing my cleanse day on Wednesday, and he was doing his on Saturday year. And he said, why don't we both do it on the same day? So we switched it to Saturday because it worked best for us that day. And it's just nice to have someone there to be like, we're not going to eat anything today. These are the things we're going to have for cleanse. Because when we do cleanse day, we don't eat snacks at all. We just do our super mix in the morning. We have a Bia in the afternoon and the cleanse, and that's it. So we kind of tough it out together, and it is really great to have someone. And I know that some of my teammates have said, I wish I had somebody to do it with me. So having an accountability partner is a big key in helping, to be successful.
In fact, Michelle, you just threw out a power statement, which can turn into a question, which all of us can be asking with our network, which is, will you do it with me? I need some help. Will you do it with me? Because that support, that encouragement, that accountability holds a lot of weight. And I love that you guys are doing it together. But like you said, there are some cases where that's not the case. Give everyone one action. What's something everyone should be doing right now as we move to the integration of fully being Isagenix? What's one thing that you can, top of your head, what should everybody be doing right now?
Well, if they're not using the products, they should be using the products so that they can create a story. Because honestly, I mean, I've done well with Zija, and I've had people reach out and they want to use it, but it's crazy how many people that have watched me for 3 years, and now they're like, I want this. They didn't want Zija, they didn't want to put the nutrition in their body, but they want to lose weight and they want this. So it's just crazy how, and I posted that one picture of myself, and I think I had 9 new people last week. So people want weight loss. And so just create your own story and share it with the people that you know, because they know you. And that's where I think a lot of people knew what I was doing. They know that I've exercised for years and years, and that I've eaten healthy. I mean, I've done the workouts and they've seen that. So now that they're seeing my body change even more, they're like, we want to do this too.
Well, Michelle, thank you for taking a few minutes on your Saturday to be a part of the virtual event And that's what we just made some adjustments. It was going to be live 800 plus, but here we are. There'll be thousands of people that watch this. I appreciate you providing hope and sharing some great wisdom. And what an incredible story and team. If you think about Michelle's story, you know, what did she do? She started to use the products, to be a product of the products. And because of that, you saw the results. You saw the before and after, and so did everyone else. As they begin to see that, she brought 9 new people on last week because of the picture, because of the story. And if there were to be an action item for all of us, it's to use the products, be a product of the product. And as we segue into this next segment, listen, I love this guy's energy, his enthusiasm. He's the Chief Visionary Officer, and there's a reason for that, because he has a huge vision. You know, sight is what you see with your eyes. Vision is what you see with your mind, and he has a huge vision. He's convicted, he's passionate about Isagenix 2.0, and he's going to share with us some wisdom today on 2.0. So if you're ready, maybe throw it in the comments, the hand emoji. I'm ready, because here we go. Here we are with none other than Eric Coover. Eric, I appreciate you joining us today, and the call is yours.
Hey, thanks so much, Chris, and it is so great to be with all of you virtually. I know that this is a crazy time that we're all going through right now with this global pandemic, but I'm just so grateful. You know, I know that we're all physically distancing right now, and I know that we're all looking forward to getting back together live in person, but you know, I've never felt more socially connected than ever because of platforms like this. And Chris, I just want to thank you for your leadership and everything that you're doing. It's been so exciting to welcome you, so many people. I know I've gotten to know many of you, a part of Zija, now welcoming you into the Isagenix family. It's just been so exciting for us as we kind of kicked off the year in 2020. And for this acquisition to kind of occur going into this new season of Isagenix 2.0, which I've been like a broken record about over the last several weeks and last couple months. What incredible timing, and what we're about to really be positioned for in this new decade is so special. And I just wanted to kind of cover, you know, just in a nutshell, where we're going as a company and this whole theme and topic of Isagenix 2.0. And if you follow me on social media, you'll be seeing that I am going to be continuing to drip out information about this 2.0 future state of Isagenix to really position us for this new decade, this new era that we're all going into. Now, basically what Isagenix 2.0 is it's us as a company delivering on the 3 strategic core initiatives that we have in the company right now. The first one is product innovation and upgrading our core products within Isagenix. And one of the things, honestly, that was so appealing about Zija, and why we're so excited about this incredible merger and welcoming all of you into the Isagenix family, was we know that you have incredible products at Zija. And so a strategic core initiative that's always going to be within the company and that we have right now is product innovation and also upgrading our core products within Isagenix. And I know many of you have already gotten a great experience on the Isagenix products. Now you've kind of seen what we've built this company on over the last 18 years, and it's so exciting. You know, we have, what's made this company successful is we have life-changing products that produce visual, emotional results for people within days. I mean, products that people want to put in their body and nourish their body with every single day for the rest of their life, regardless if they're making any money or not. That is what you must have to have a long-term business, is real customers consuming incredible products. So we're going to continue to innovate through product innovation, but we're also going to be upgrading our core products within Isagenix. You know, our Shake, our Cleanse, our Ionic, so many of the products that we've kind of built this company on that and have stood the test of time, we're going to continue to make the best even better. So that's a 2.0 deliverable is us delivering on that first strategic initiative. Now, the second strategic initiative within Isagenix that we're going to continue to deliver on in this future state of Isagenix 2.0 is one that gets me so excited. And it's basically us upgrading all of our marketing, our branding, our messaging, how we're telling the Isagenix story to the masses. All of that is going to be elevated within Isagenix. And you're really going to see a huge emphasis on us highlighting the experience that people get when they're a part of Isagenix through every single touch point. From the touch point when you first get your products arriving on your doorstep and you open your box of Isagenix, and we want people to be blown away by the experience that they get, where it's just beautiful, elegant, modern, sophisticated, this cool experience, where you almost feel like by just opening the box, you feel like so much better just about yourself, like you're treating yourself because you just started your Isagenix journey. So from that experience to taking the products out of the box at every little single touch point, the messages on the packaging, we want them to be Insta-worthy. We want people to just be so proud to share their the experience that they're getting through Isagenix on social media. So from that touch point to our website, our digital assets, our social media, our events, you're going to be seeing us elevating our experience through our virtual events. And also once we're back all together again, live in person, that's going to be a huge portion of the Isagenix experience that is elevated. Social wellness is a real thing. And the community of Isagenix is probably the best product that we offer in this company. And so that experience 100% is going to be elevated. So when I think about that strategic initiative, that second one, in today's day and age, in the year 2020, like the wellness space is just so crowded. And in 2002, when Isagenix first started, it wasn't as crowded as it is today. I mean, in 2002, at Isagenix, we were talking about, 100% grass-fed whey protein from undenatured sources that where the cows are injected with routine antibiotics, steroids, growth hormone. We were talking about that. We were talking about intermittent fasting and how important that is for the body to remove the impurities that we're exposed to from the environment. We were talking about that 18 years ago, and now literally so many different companies are talking about those things. And so it's very, very a crowded space today. And so although we're going to continue to innovate and be trendsetters in the wellness space through remarkable life-changing products, we have to think of other ways within the company to really differentiate ourselves. So to me, that second initiative, upgrading our branding, our messaging, our marketing, making the experience that you get with Isagenix so special, that's going to be a huge differentiator for us that you're not going to be able to get anywhere else. And so that's why I'm so excited it's a strategic priority within the company. Now, some of that stuff that I mentioned is going to take a lot longer, like that, opening the box experience, that's going to take some time. And this journey of 2.0 that we're all on, it's going to be an evolution. It's going to be happening over the next 3, 6, 9, 12, 18 months in the future. And some stuff is going to come rather quickly. You're already starting to see some stuff. You're going to see some stuff big time in our virtual celebration in July. And then some stuff's going to take a little longer, 6, 9, 12 months down the road around that core initiative. Now, the third initiative is upgrading our user experience through innovative technology. And one of the challenges that we have, being an 18-year-old company, in 2002, it was like if you had a website, that was innovation. I mean, there was like the internet was kind of just getting going in 2002. Now, I mean, there's just like technology is obviously in the now, the future. And so we have to kind of migrate the legacy that we've built on new innovative platforms positioned for the future. And we're continuing to pour millions of dollars into our IT infrastructure, making our user experience more intuitive, simpler, making our enrollment process simpler, making it just so easy to do business with Isagenix. You're going to see a huge emphasis as that is a strategic priority for us, and making it so kind of intuitive and responsive for you to interact with your own business, your customers, your associates, people who are doing good things, consistently ordering products, starting to share Isagenix. We want you to have a great experience with them and be able to communicate with them effectively and have total visibility to what's going on in your organization. So we're going to continue to pour a lot of money and time and resources into that initiative of upgrading our user experience through innovative technology. And isn't it so cool that that investment, the money, the millions of dollars that goes into investing in something like that comes out of Isagenix's pockets, and it doesn't have to come out of your pocket. So that's one of the coolest things about this business opportunity and this model that we all have here at Network Marketing. Isagenix, we take care of all the IT infrastructure and the customer care and the shipping and logistics and all of kind of the heavy stuff that it takes with running a traditional business. That's on us. All you have to do is get excited about this gift of Isagenix, these products, and start sharing them with passion with people that you really, really care about. So Isagenix 2.0, it's us consistently delivering on those 3 strategic initiatives that I've just covered. And it's really going to, again, be an evolution, and it's going to position us for this new decade. And again, this is, you go through different seasons of the business, just like in life. We go through unbelievable times of growth and momentum where everything goes right. And then you go through times of real challenge and adversity and struggle where it's like very, very foggy and it's not really clear. And you have to go through those times in order to get to, the really, really exciting times in kind of the next season. I really, really feel like what's kind of been bubbling under the surface, the pot is about to start overflowing with 2.0 as we get into this new future state. And something that I'm very, very passionate about is the young generation within Isagenix, that 18 to 35 demographic, the Start Your Life movement. Everything that we're doing in this 2.0 state is going to ignite that generation. Everything is going to be really resonating with product innovation, the marketing, the messaging, and also obviously the user experience through innovative technology. All of that is going to be fueling the fire of the Start Your Life demographic, because we know if there's one thing that, I just feel such a responsibility for, it is, really carrying the torch of Isagenix into the future for the next generation of leaders. And we can't do that unless we inspire and empower the next generation of leaders that are going to carry the torch of Isagenix and this vision for future generations. And to me, that is what this Start Your Life movement is really, really all about. It's the legacy that is in action every single day. So in this 2.0 future state, we're going to obviously be, speaking to everybody, but with that 18 to 35 demographic really at the forefront of our mind, because we know that in order to be a legacy company, you got to mobilize that generation. And so I'm just so proud to be a part of this company with all of you, going through a global pandemic that we are right now, with so many people having their worlds just rocked over the last several weeks. To have a business model that has been, relatively unaffected by this whole thing, like with the exception of having to move some live events to virtual events, which we're used to doing, it's just kind of shine such a powerful light on how incredible this business model is when it's done right. And if anything, the world right now is, and people are looking for healthy nourishment where they can really nourish their bodies and take care of themselves so they can be their best for their families and their communities. They're looking now more than ever for additional streams of income that they can do from anywhere, especially from home. And probably most importantly, they're looking for a empowering community to be a part of that is just positive, it's uplifting, and where they can just meet incredible people. So we've got the whole package here at Isagenix. I'm just so proud and grateful to be a part of it with all of you. So thanks everybody so much for having me on. And with that, I'll send it back over to Chris. See ya.
Well, thanks, Eric, and I love your energy, man, your vision, and we appreciate your time and being a part of this virtual event. As we move into our VP of Sales, Mac Isagenix, Mac on the attack. This is a guy who makes you smile and just is, serves all of us. Many of you have had a chance to see him. Some of you had a chance to meet him, but he's going to share with us over the next few minutes on what we need to know as we begin to transition into the start line. I call this preseason, where we're just getting our, doing our mental gymnastics. We're getting tough in the mind. We're physically transforming and getting ready for the season. He's getting ready to share with us what we need to know. So Mac, I'm going to turn it to you, man, and share with us what do we need to know.
Hey, thanks, Chris. I really appreciate it. I really am excited about today and everything that's already gone on before me and what's going to happen after me. But I wanted to say a big thank you for spending your time on a Saturday right here with all of us, learning right alongside everyone. And I'm really, really excited to be able to just spend a few moments just addressing you guys, sharing a little bit about what's going on from the corporate side of Isagenix and Zija and what's to come in the future. Before I do that, though, I want to start off with a story. And I'm a big story guy. I love stories. And maybe some of you have already heard this story, but I still love this story because I know a lot of people wonder, like, gosh, what does Mac do? What does the field development team do? What does the what we call regional sales team do? And I know that as folks have left the home office of Zija, people are wondering, what about the support? Who's going to be here to help me? Where do I turn for help? Where do I turn for support? So I want to start with this story. And it's about Captain Charles Plum. And for those of you who've heard this story, it's a powerful story. Captain Charles Plum was he would take off from aircraft carriers, right? He was an aircraft carrier pilot, would pilot missions in Vietnam. And as he was serving over in Vietnam, he did 74 successful missions, doing what he was asked to do. He served on the Kitty Hawk. And so he'd come off the Kitty Hawk and do what he was asked to do, come back. And he did 74 successful missions in Vietnam. But on the 75th one, Captain Plum, unfortunately, was shot down and he was taken captive. He was a POW for 2,103 days, something like that, just a little over 6 years of POW there in Vietnam. I can't even imagine what he went through. But years later, the war's over. He's back home. He's married. He began speaking, all around the country about his experience as a POW and the things he learned as a captain. Flying those missions and what he learned. But he learned a really valuable lesson. He was out to dinner one night. And he's out to dinner one night with his wife. And there's a gentleman that just kind of staring at him, kind of looking at him and just kind of staring at him. And Captain Plum didn't really, take notice of it, but he kept looking over and this gentleman would continue to just kind of look at him and squint and, really kind of analyze, him for some reason. He kind of became uncomfortable a little bit. And so finally, this man stood up and walked over to where Captain Plum was eating with his wife and said, "Excuse me, sir." And Captain Plum said, "Yes." He's like, "Would you be Captain Charles Plum from the USS Kitty Hawk?" And he's like, "Yeah, I am." Kind of took it back. He's like, who are you? Didn't say that, but kind of was like that kind of reaction. He's like, "Yes, do we know each other?" And he's like, "I know who you are. You may not know who I am." But he's like, "You were shot down, weren't you?" And he's like, yeah, yes, I was. He said, "Excuse me, do I know you?" And he said, "You know what, sir, you may not know me, but I'm the man who actually packed your parachute. And I'm so glad it worked that day." And he shook his hand and he walked away. And you can only imagine the profound effect that it had on Captain Plum to sit there and meet the man who actually packed his parachute when he needed it most. The one time. The 75th mission, the 74 other missions, who knows if it's packed great, if it's packed well. That 75th time when he needed it, when he was shot down, he was only here today because that man did his job, spent time doing that job behind the scenes, doing everything he could to support those men out there doing what they were asked to do, which was fly those missions around Vietnam. And I just want to let you know that's how I see my role. That's how I see the field development team role. That's how I see the regional sales team role is we're here packing your parachute. We're here doing everything we can to make your life a little bit easier and a little bit smoother. And during these transitions, it isn't going to be very smooth. But where we can, that's where all of the regional sales managers, directors are there to help you guys, no matter who you are, no matter what phase of the business, or you're just starting out or a seasoned veteran. That's what we are here at corporate to do, is we are packing your parachute so you can be successful. I don't think any of us are going to be shot down per se, but we're here supporting you behind the scenes, doing everything we can to make your life just a titch bit better. Maybe make that, the IT systems just a little bit smarter, a little more intuitive. The experience for your customers to be a little bit brighter, a little bit easier, a little bit more intuitive. That's what we're here. We're here to pack your parachute. And so in that vein, I wanted to tell you a little bit of it behind the scenes of some of the things that we've been packing in that parachute and what's upcoming for our integration. So right now, we just announced just this last week that the Crystal bonuses are now live for Canada, Mexico, and all of Europe. So those 3 countries are live. So that's exciting. The U.S. has been enjoying those since February, but now, Europe, I can't say everyone, but Europe and Canada, and of course, Mexico, all of those are enjoying some form of those bonuses. As for the rest of the countries, when we do integration, they'll be able to have something that makes sense in their markets. Again, we don't do a one-size-fits-all. We want to make sure that the general managers in those areas, what makes sense in those markets, will get the best bang for their buck as well. But for those 3 countries, we launched that, so that's exciting. If you haven't heard that, okay, now's the time to wake up if you're in Canada, Europe, or down in Mexico, that now you have access to the Crystal bonuses in some form of it. Please make sure you look at your local countries, because they might be slightly different. So that's exciting going on right now. Also, what we've been experiencing since we purchased Zija is the tremendous leadership that each and every one of you have given to your customers, because it can be quite unsettling. Yet I've been hearing customer after customer say, you know what, this isn't that bad. I thought I was nervous, I was scared, but I talked to my leader, I got on some calls, and you know what, it's been pretty smooth. And the times that it hasn't gone smooth, your leadership is so valuable. So thank you to everyone reaching out to your teams, answering questions, being there when they're a little bit frustrated. And trust me, we know that not everything's going to be easy. Even over these next 2 months, as we get closer to integration, 2 months away, because our goal for integration is global celebration, that we would all be together as one family as we launch together, coming out of celebration, our largest event. So that's happening, and I want to say thank you for your leadership. Now, what is coming up? I want to say integration. Our goal is middle of July, right there at celebration. And here's what you can expect leading up to that. You're going to expect that we're going to give you a checklist, and this is going to be important in the sense that the little things matter, because when integration happens, we don't want anything to go awry for any customer or any distributor. So we're going to be offering you a checklist, and there'll be plenty of communication around this. And in that checklist, there'll be little things that you need to just check off. You make sure and easy things right off the bat, like, is your email a unique email, or is your email address used on several different accounts? We got to clean that up, make sure everything's unique. So little things like that, is your password meet our specifications? Because again, Zija's password, it might be a little bit different than what we require for a password. So we'll be giving you all this checklist, so you can do the little things, so that when integration happens on that day that we turn it on and we're all one big happy family, your account's ready to go. It has no issues, no flags. You have to call into customer service or get online to fix something in your back office. Our goal is to make sure every customer has a checklist, every distributor has a checklist, and that we're working on that together well in advance. I've been working with the marketing team right now to make sure that checklist gets done, as well as more FAQs to be added to the page, so that if you have questions, again, we don't have to always burden customer service with calls about the checklist. We want to make sure that checklist is pretty self-explanatory, so people know exactly what to do in the step-by-step things that they have to do and how to do it. So if you're not sure how to change your password in Zija, those are the type of steps-by-steps that our goal is to make sure we make it super easy, so that everyone has those things done and dusted, ready to go for when integration happens. So that's going to be an exciting thing, as well as we'll be announcing all the products that we're keeping forever and other products that will be discontinued in the future, which I know is a tough thing to talk about, but that is coming. And we'll make sure, again, that we have plenty of communication going out to everyone, so that everyone is well aware of what products are going to stay forever, and our plan for those that are not staying, that are just limited quantities, just while supplies last, so to speak, going forward. And there's so many positive things going out there. I've seen leader after leader have experiences on Isagenix and Zija products together, losing weight, gaining muscle. I've seen some pretty powerful muscles, and tons of people just hitting brand new rank advancements in Zija's compensation plan, as well as the crystal bonuses. It's been fun to celebrate everyone's success. Keep it going. Remember, you have an army here. Even though you may have seen some of your friends at Zija choose other paths, you have an army here in Isagenix that are packing your parachutes and packing the parachutes right so that you have a better experience. And if you see something that needs to come to our attention, please just say it so that we can make things better and smoother for you. Finally, I want to say this as I kind of wind down. Global celebration, what we call celebration, you guys call it summit, we call it celebration. Our biggest event of the year is virtual. Our goal is 20,000 to 40,000 viewers, and we know we can do that. I bet you, between you and I think we do a lot more than that. But hey, we got 40,000 viewers tuning in to learn. It would be a huge win, because here's what's happening. Behind the scenes, we've got this purchase of Zija, but behind the scenes, right up next to it, as far as priority lists are concerned, is we're reinventing Isagenix. Well, we're saying Isagenix 2.0. And Isagenix 2.0 may be cliche, but that's the truth. We are totally reinventing our company. Let me just tell you 3 areas that we're reinventing. Products. We're going to have a brand new strategy on products, and the type of story we're going to tell around the products is going to be powerful as we start venturing into brand new realms when it comes to products. Really exciting stuff. I don't want to overhype it because I'm not a big hype guy, but I promise you, what you're tasting in Bia, if you've ever tasted a Bia or had a Bia, more to come kind of like that, as far as the ingredient panel that's being easy to read, words that you understand, something unlike anything else on the market, and that we're going to have access to that. That's going to be launched in July. The other thing we're working on is brand. We want to reinvent Isagenix for a brand. And I know sometimes when people hear brand, you're thinking logos and packaging, and that is all part of it, right? Colors and all that. That's an important part of how we look to the world. But it's also going to be centered around the experience that our customers enjoy, the experience our distributors enjoy, and how do we elevate that so that it's the best experience and experience that people expect in today's shopping environment. And so that's going to be launched at Celebration. It's going to be huge for look, see, feel, think about the 5 senses. And that's our goal, is for everyone to make sure that they get that opportunity for them to experience what the Isagenix 2.0 from a brand perspective is going to be. And I'll tell you, in today's world, it's all about technology. So to have the experience of making sure that we have 2.0 technology, apps that are powerful for the distributor, apps that are powerful for our customers, to make it easy and smoother for everyone to do everything from the palm of their hand, and elevating all aspects of the business. Now, 2.0, when you're reinventing a company, doesn't happen overnight. You'll be able to get a taste of it, and certain things will happen sooner. Other things may take 12, some may even take 18 months, but you'll understand the path that we're going to be on. And as a company, as Zija and Isagenix, it's only going to make our story stronger. What we're going to talk about, our product story, more impactful as we go out to the world and show the world why Isagenix is the best at what we do. And we are. We have transformative products, and they're going to remain that way. That are cutting edge on science, as well as delivering transformational results every time people use it. That's what's going to be exciting. So I want to make sure that everyone circles those dates, right, in the middle of July. You want to make sure you're there for a celebration. It's going to be important. That's going to be the next big event that we have. So many great things. And behind the scenes, as we continue to pack your parachute for celebration, if you pack your parachute for our Canadians for earning these crystal bonuses, we're here for you as a corporate team. From the very top of Jim and Kathy to our CEO, Travis Ogden, to Sharon Walsh, to all of our corporate staff around the world, we are here to pack your parachutes. That's all we're here to do, is serve you and help you in everything you do. So Chris, I appreciate the time. For all of you, let's make it happen, make it a great week. Thanks again for spending some Saturdays with a little bit of time on a Saturday with us. So Chris, I'll turn it back over to you, my friend. Thanks.
Well, thanks, Isagenix, and we appreciate all that great intel information. We're so excited about Celebration. Yeah, it'll be virtual, but there will be lots of exciting announcements and promotions and content, and we're certainly ready to get to the start line. So we appreciate all the things we need to know, and your storytelling ability as well. And I want to move now into some things we need to do. So we just learned on some things we need to know. Now we're going to learn on some things we need to do. Lots of content, lots of value today. But as we start to move into the closing minutes of this virtual event. What do we need to know? What do we need to do as our friend? I call him the silent assassin. Some of you don't hear from him much, but he's always tactically putting him and his team in a position to win. He plays chess, not checkers. He's a tactician. He serves his team. He even calls his team Team Serve. We certainly appreciate him and his leadership and everything that he stands for as high character and integrity. And that's Jason West. And Jason, we're just so excited for you to be a part of this virtual event. And I'm going to let you share some wisdom and throw some nuggets here. And I'll turn it over to you, man.
Well, thank you so much, Chris. I appreciate this opportunity today to be with so many people. And I would be remiss if I didn't share with everyone today that it was 9 years ago this weekend when a longtime friend of a couple decades went to school with them, living life, going vacation, coaching together, that she was at my house, Chris, and she shared this information with me. Matter of fact, she pointed to you, Chris. She said, you remind me of a little bit like him. He's a teacher, coach, triathlete. Why don't you look at this stuff? And she left. Now, I was a teacher at the end of the school year, just like it is right now for many of us, and I put that on my desk. I wasn't going to look at it until after the school year was over. I was tired. I was exhausted. I was finishing my principalship, taking my principal exams to walk into those interviews in the summer and move into administration. And little did I know what I was holding on to at the time would be transforming, to say the least. So, Chris, you played a huge role in that. You and D. Hutchins and so many other people, our team, our organization. We can't do this alone. It takes an entire team. And I thank you for all that you've done, all the time, all the energy, all the effort, all the miles, all the calls that you have given to me and invested in me, and so that we can pass it on to other people and multiply this thing. So today, guys, I want to talk to you about the things to do, right? The action pieces for where we are right now. Of course, we had a phenomenal lineup today, a superstar group of people, and of course, this new leadership that we're getting to experience, and everything rises and falls on leadership. It's the difference maker, right? And we get to experience for the first time in a while, across the board, high level, high capacity, high competency, experienced, seasoned leaders that have raised our lid, and now we have more room in many areas to do. So what can we do now that we have a home with many upgrades, like I said? And so first thing I would do is there's two things really, Chris, that the focus on is, the plan, the action plan that we want to put together. And then, of course, the mindset, understanding the season that we're in. And I remember 2013 at a Zija convention, they had a climber, a world-renowned climber, one of the most coveted, decorated climbers in America, Ed Beastrice, I believe his name. And I had his notes. I was reviewing his notes recently. And one of the things I always remembered from that training is you got to listen to the mountain. You got to know when to go, when to stay, and when to get after it, and when to climb. He also said getting to the top is optional, but getting down is mandatory. And so going through this transition is it's become optional for some people, and others it's mandatory. Getting through the transition, going through the adversity. And so I want to address those two components today as we continue on this journey about taking action. And so our team, I really felt like when we got back from being in Arizona with the Isagenix leadership and the corporate team and getting to see it up close. If I can see something up close, I can really get a good feel for it. And from that time that we had up close, I was able to come back and see what is the main thing from the end of January to the time this transition occurs. And I landed on three things, Chris. I've been repetitive in it. We've had stories around it. We have incredible stories around all three of these that I'm going to share today. There's no secrets in this. It's just a matter of execution. And that's where some people are. They don't have the clarity, right? They don't have the clarity, and we know a confused mind does nothing. So the mindset that we have is we're not focused on winning a championship. This is not the time of the year. Let me say this. It's not the time where we are in a transition where we're working to win a championship, whether it's a local championship, a region, state championship, a national championship, world championship. We're not focused on that. What we're focusing on is developing some champions. Now, we went through some three hard, challenging years. Of course, every year is hard and challenging in its own way. But we have focused on developing that person as we move into this. Some of the behaviors from 2019, we have to unlearn. We developed some bad behaviors just from the environment that we were in. And I always speak true, you guys know that. And second is we're committed to the process. We're not result oriented right now. Our goal is the process, and the process, our guy, John Gordon, who goes around speaking to so many organizations, it's not our goals that lead to success, but it's our commitment to the process. And that's one of the C's I want to talk about today. So this really encompasses, we're not working on winning a championship, we're working on developing a champion, right? And the second piece is commitment, the second C. So there got 3 C's inside of these C's. We call it the C training. The first one is change. Change is personal transformation. I believe this is number one out of all of them. I believe it supersedes and trumps everything that we're at right now. I believe it's time, we get time for a reset. No matter what our Zija journey was like, we all get to reset, right? We all get to unlearn and let go of some things. But we also get to reinvent. And usually in a person's lifetime, they get to reinvent themselves 4 or 5 times. And I remember John Maxwell doing a training on reinvent that spoke to me. I still review those notes. And one of the things that we want to focus on as we come from the company that we were all in, health, wellness, Zija, moving into an Isagenix health and wellness, but it's a before and after. It's a transformational company. It's a lifestyle company. And what I tell people is I've been looking for a sustainable long-term. I turned 46 here in a couple months, Chris, and I'm looking for something sustainable long-term where I'm going to have a high quality of life, and I push my finish line back as far as possible with the highest quality of life possible. And I believe it happens through what we're experiencing right now. So number one is personal transformation. What do you mean, Jason? Well, when you look at your week and you look at your day, what are you doing physically? What are your habits? We've been stacking habits for months. We just start. And that's the big thing. We want people to start somewhere. And you have to start. If you want a strong heart, you got to work that muscle, right? And the only way you're going to work that muscle is to increase that heart rate. And I know many of you know this. So number one is, what are you doing cardio 3 to 4 times a week? And it could be any number of things. You could be mix it up. I'm not training for anything. I'm not competing in the competition. Now, I rode with Chris last week and he kicked my rear end, and I'm not going to let it happen again. I'm still a competitor, but I'm not competing in any races. You guys are following me. So cardio, what am I doing with cardio? What am I doing with strength training? It could just be just as simple as doing 1 air squat, right? Doing 1 squat. I used to joke around and tell people I do 1 sit-up a day. Half when I get up in the morning and do the other half when I lay down at night. And so you got to be doing something. Got to start somewhere when it comes to the physical transformation. When we go in and we go to their first event, and we see all the people, we show up, one of the things that's going to jump out to everyone is how fit the Isagenix associates and the Isagenix employees and how they take care of themselves, okay? Now, I don't compare myself to anyone else. I compare myself to where I was a year ago. And what am I doing? And I'm moving into a sustainable lifestyle that I can have into my 50s and into my 60s and even into my 70s because of my mindset. So cardio, strength, what are you doing? And then last is food tracking. We're going to get 2 apps, a business app and then a customer ISA life app. And what I've been sharing and repetizing, if that's the word, repetition, reminding, remembering well, as we use the MyFitnessPal app, and I want them to put everything in there so many times that, well, I eat healthy. Well, why don't you just put in there everything you eat? And when you start putting it on a scorecard and you start showing you in the mirror what you're actually eating, and your candy wrappers are piling up, and you're starting to see that you drink a lot of your calories, a lot of things get exposed to you. You have some bad habits, so we got to unlearn the bad habits to create new ones. And you say, well, Jason, why is this so important? The one thing I've heard more than anything in my 9-year journey in this is the best investment you can make is to invest in yourself. And we are going to personally invest in ourselves, mind, body, soul, in the personal growth atmosphere, but we've created a community accountability around doing something, moving 5 days a week. If it's even a thank you walk, and you want to incorporate the spiritual aspect and go out and do a thank you walk and just do that 15, 20 minutes a day, whether you're walking with a significant other, a spouse, a kid during this time, these are things that we're focusing on and making very, very important. So this, I spent a lot of time on it, Chris, because I believe it's the biggest one of all of them, personal transformation. When we get out there and it's swimsuit season and we're wearing shorts and our shorts are sort of hanging on us and our clothes are a lot looser here in the summertime coming up as it warms up. Of course, many places it's still a little cool. Here in Kentucky, it's a warm day today. So we have to embrace what's coming, right? A lifestyle, sustainable lifestyle, a fit. I remember somebody said one time early in my Zija journey, he said, you can't sell a dream when you look like a nightmare, okay? So let's go to work on our personal transformation. The second C is communicating, connecting, conversating, starting conversations. Right now, it could be everyone on your tree, all of your builders, all of your teammates, people who have quit on our previous company, people who had life events happen and knocked them off course, just having that conversation, inviting them in, just really loving on people. It's a relationship building aspect. I've seen several people who had life events or got knocked off course or the constant target changing, where they've come back. They're excited about what we're walking into and inheriting and getting some of. So making deposits in people, serving people, loving people, caring on people, communicating with people, letting them know their loyalty points, letting them know when we find out all the products, letting them know, right? Just easing their mind. If you know they had never enrolled anyone on the ride and they've been getting a paycheck for 6 years or 3 years, and they've only enrolled people on one side, you need to communicate with them. They don't need to go missing checks and all of a sudden like, hey, Jason, like I haven't been paid in like a month. Like what happened with this new company? They're not paying people. Like they need to know, right? They need to know if they're on 75 PVE and they need to go up to 100 PVE or they're going to stop getting checks, right? And so these are things we want to do. We want to be proactive, work ahead of time. And then the third C is consultant factory around the crystal reset, the crystal bonuses, Chris. We're only focused on consultant factory. If we buy into the process of helping everyone understand consultant, what ends up happening as the rising tide lifts all ships, that pushes you up to other crystal ranks, that creates more consultants, more people in your organization putting sweat. Now we don't have 24 hours in a day. We have hundreds of man hours going into a work day. So those are the 3 C's, Chris, that we're focused on. As you have shared, it's one thing to make a plan. It's another thing to go work it. Here's what I know that's happening. People bought into the plan in February. I call them the early adopters. And the early adopters in the personal transformation story, and as the crystal resets consultants came out, and these people, bam, getting bonuses, big bonuses, flying up through the crystal ranks, and their personal transformation story started becoming visible, and people were always watching, right? And what's happened is the early majority on our tree and out there that's not on the tree, they're joining. We have new stories. We have spouses who didn't have a story that are having a story. We have people who used the previous weight management system, never lost a pound, never transformed, bring this in, start tracking food, make some minor adjustments. We are developing champions, Chris. So hopefully that helps all of you over the next 2 months that continue to go through and grow through the summer, that gets us ready for full-on launch where we actually start the season and we come out of the preseason into the regular season here in 2 months. So Chris, I'll hand it back to you, man.
Well, thanks, Jason. Exceptional wisdom as always, and an opportunity for all of us right now to take massive action on some fundamentals. And that's what Jason has always done, is master the fundamentals. And as we move into the close of this virtual event, how many of you gained some value? Maybe put in the comments a V for value, that you've gotten some value with these incredible leaders, all the corporate team. But we're going to close this thing down with a multi-million-dollar earner. He's an author, a movie producer, a pastor. He's a friend, a brother. And we're so excited to have Pastor Mullins to close this event down. So Kevin, I'm going to turn it to you, man.
Hello, everyone. I'm excited to be here with you today on this virtual series of excellence and significance, this training that has been put together, of course, by none other than the incomparable Chris and Lindsay Estes. I'm so thankful to be connected to them. I'm a big believer that we live life at the level of our partnerships. And so I'm honored to call Chris a mentor and someone that's definitely paving the way for people like myself to believe in the impossible. I want to also say thank you to all the incredible other leaders, corporate staff, the representation that Isagenix has given us from the beginning. You know, when you start thinking about trailblazers, the Cougar family comes to mind. So thank you to everybody from corporate staff that's participated in today, that's constantly doing everything in their power to make sure that we have the tools in order to really shift our life, you know, into that level of increase and overflow. And then, of course, to all the speakers, man, y'all have been dropping wisdom bombs all day long. And I know I've been taking notes. I'm sure those of you that are listening, that are watching virtually, I guarantee you that you and your team are getting ready to rise your level of expectation and productivity to a new level. And that new level will obviously come with, you know, new adversities, and it'll come with new set of circumstances that altogether seem impossible to overcome. But we know that supernatural promotions are in store for those that handle adversity well. And so I just want to say thank you to everybody. Guys, you know, one of the things that I was thinking about, so many of us, of course, are, you know, merging out of this, you know, whole quarantine thing. And that's been a difficult thing for Kevin Mullins, man. I'm used to being on the road. But I got to tell you, one of the beautiful things is that sitting over our priorities and going back over the things that matter in life, it really makes me not just encouraged, but it makes me so thankful with a spirit of gratitude to be connected to this company, knowing that while so many people, right, 33 plus million Americans just in America are unemployed across the world, fighting so many different economic issues. And yet for many of you, your income's actually going up. Why? Because we're in a business model that flourishes when the entire world is being hit by economic depravity. We have something that I call the solution. We have something that allows us to not only impact the health of people, but allows us to tell our story, allows us to build a team of associates and entrepreneurs, a team of messengers of hope. And the byproduct of us helping those people elevate the quality of their life is we get to be compensated. And man, does Isagenix compensate us for doing the right things. I've always said I believe network marketing is a business model that is built on kingdom principles. It means that in this business model, you have an opportunity to truly pour your time into the lives of other people, and then you get to see them succeed. And as they succeed, you get to succeed as well. Never seen anything more scriptural than network marketing. And I'm so glad to call Isagenix home. You know, during this quarantine, I was watching a movie called First Man. It's the narrative and true story of the one and only Neil Armstrong, who not only became one of the people to walk on the moon, but the first to ever walk on the moon. Now, this is crazy because, you know, 50 plus years after that happened, it's still a monumental event, not just in American history, but in the history of all mankind. Why? Because when he walked on that moon, proving something that was once thought impossible was possible and happened, it woke up something inside of us. So, you know, that destiny that so many times lays dormant in our life because we become confronted by the enemies, the Goliaths, the giants, you know, so many of the mountains that are standing between us and that thing that we call our kingdom assignment, that thing that we call destiny, that God dream that was placed inside of us that keeps us awake, knowing that there's potential inside of us that is yet unmet, unreached. And when Neil Armstrong walked across that moon, you know, he did something to the spirit of humanity. That's why in that movie, and oftentimes is quoted that incredible quote that said, one small step for mankind, for man, right, became a giant leap for mankind. What that really meant is that when Neil did that, he set something in order, a shift, a monumental shift. There was a transition that happened in the hearts of people all over the world that began to believe that maybe there was more out there. So not only did Neil prove that we can live among the stars, but even here on earth, he proved that there's nothing that is off limits to you and I. Why? Because God has deposited greatness inside of us. Now, I know greatness can be hard to explain. When we talk about greatness, there's not a real manual or a blueprint, but the seeds of greatness has been deposited into your spirit. And it's days like this when we're learning and we're also out applying the things that we've learned that begin to awaken and to grow that thing that we call destiny, so that we can make sure that we don't go through life settling for a lesser than life, that we don't take the path of least resistance, but that we're constantly reaching so that we can elevate the quality of our life, our family, our team, so that we can set a new reference point, a new standard, if you will, to what is feasible, what is attainable to anyone that has a burning desire to really go out and accomplish this thing that we call life. Life unlimited, one without restrictions. That's why I love partnerships, not just with you, but I know that when I'm partnered with him, nothing is impossible. So Neil Armstrong not only walks across the moon, but then we have people like Roger Bannister breaking the 4-minute mile. We have people like Rosa Parks that refuse to give up her seat. So many of these trailblazers are focal points for all of us at some journey or chapter in this thing that we call life, that we look to and draw strength from. And it ultimately sets another thing in order, which is that in life, we know that the world today is starving for leadership. You know, so many people today are in a new place of depression or anxiety. People are unemployed. Small business owners are out of work. People are waiting on the government to come rescue them. But the truth of the matter is that the solution is in you. It's in myself. Our calling in life is to step into an environment that's completely chaotic and to bring calm, because your very existence should serve as an oasis in a very barren, desolate wasteland. Why? Because when you show up, the atmosphere changes. When you begin to present your opportunity, something inside of your prospects begins to see life from a completely different lens, a new perspective, and all of a sudden they begin to remember what if. And that what if begins to merge into moving beyond the how-tos into actually getting things done. Why? Because you, the messenger of hope, decided to stop by virtually at some point to someone's home and say, hey, follow me. That's what Paul did. You know, the Apostle Paul made those declaration words that said, follow me as I follow Christ. What that really means is imitate me. Do what I do and you'll get what I've got. I want to talk to you about leadership, because leadership, real leadership, is not complete until there's an example to follow. That's why I love being connected to people like Chris, and love being connected to my former mentor by a man by the name of Paul Warderson, that, you know, was a real trailblazer that went from being a history teacher, PE teacher, to making almost $2 million a month, proving that anybody from any walk of life can obtain the impossible. Why? Because they got tired of where they were in life and they crossed over the threshold of ordinary and stepped into a destiny of extraordinary, and begin to set new boundaries, begin to raise the roof off of previous, glass ceilings that were placed upon us, and they decided to live a life of perpetual breakthrough. When leadership is exemplified, it allows us to see the possibilities. A lot of leaders are good at casting vision. Nothing wrong with that. Casting vision, giving instructions, but the instructions in your team's life never becomes workable. It never is properly manifested until there is an example to follow. That's why I love throughout the Word of God, every great example of leadership was someone that got in the trenches with the people and measured out their instructions by lifestyle. You know, at some point in your life, you're really either going to be a travel agent or you're going to be a tour guide. I want you to think about that for a minute. Are you a travel agent? You know, are you the type of person that gets someone all worked up and excited about the possibilities of what life may look like, you know, in a different country or in an exotic, you know, vacation destiny hotspot? Are you the type of person that can sell the sizzle? Are you the type of person that can post all the wonderful things that network marketing and Isagenix can provide us as kingdom entrepreneurs and people that are living life intentionally? Because travel agents are good at selling the idea. They're good at selling the destination, but they don't go with you. But tour guides, I want to talk about the tour guides that are watching today. Tour guides are altogether different. They're not only going to sell you on the possibility of what something looks like, but they're going to come along on the journey with you. So I want you to become more committed to moving beyond travel agent, which is talking about all the wonderful things that Isagenix can provide, that the Word of God can provide, and moving over into tour guide, which is a person that says, you know what, my life is going to model the behavior in which I expect from the people that are surrounded me, the people that are connected to me, because I want to set a new precedent in order that if I can do it, you can do it. So where are my tour guides that are watching today? I want to hear you, man. Just light up the chat room. You know, there's a portion of scripture found in Matthew, the 5th chapter, and it's a beautiful portion because in this particular portion of scripture, it really sort of talks about all the things that's required in becoming something beyond what you are, or some of the images that we are forced to live under because of a mom or a dad or a pastor or maybe a social status or group that we belong to. And I want to remind you that kingdom identity is the prerequisite to kingdom authority. It means that the real enemy's job in life is to get you second guessing who you are. 2 blind men are following Jesus. They come up to him, obviously needing a healing. Jesus turns and asks an incredible question. He says, do you believe I can do this? And here's what they said. We believe you can. And Jesus says to them 4 very powerful words. He says, become what you believe. I want you to ponder that for just one moment. Think about that. Become what you believe. Everything hinges on belief. Who you believe you are. Little David believed he was bigger than the giant that was standing before him and all of Israel, not because of his statue, but because he was tied to something that was supernaturally bigger than he was. When your vision, when your life, when your dream board is attached to something that is supernatural, attached to something that has a can-do mentality, someone that lives with an all-in mentality, someone that is committed to doing it all day, every day, not just work, but life in general, we then can become immeasurably different than any life that was lived out before us. Why? Because we become what we believe. What do you believe about yourself? Do you believe that all things are possible? Do you believe that you can go make 6 figures, 7 figures? What about not just 6 or 7 figures a year or over a lifetime? But what if you can get to a place where your level of expectation was so high, you believe that you could make 6 or 7 figures in a month? Why settle for an aquarium lifestyle when you've been promised an ocean destiny? Never settle for less than God's promises. You know what's cool? Everybody watching this virtual summit has access to the same mentorship. We have access to the same 24 hours. We have access to the same compensation plan. We have access to the same tools. It is an equal playing field as it results to you and I having access. But you know what? A chef can give you the greatest recipe in the entire world. If the most notable chef on planet Earth gave you the greatest recipe there was, it would be useless if you then didn't get to gather the components within the recipe and actually bake the cake. All of you, most of you already know the how-tos. You know, you should be running more meetings, maybe currently virtual meetings, recruiting more, posturing up, you know, your level of confidence. You already know kind of what you need to do. You done read all the books. You done been to multiple conferences. But there comes a time you become what you believe. There comes a time where your belief system, that thing that's written on your heart, begins to manifest. Not just how you handle the adverse moments in life, but it begins to manifest the things that you truly believe. So that when you believe that all things are possible, when you believe that the Lord says above all things, I want you to prosper. And I love this because this really fits the Isagenix business model, and be in good health. Now you can begin to set a new example. Neil Armstrong was the first to walk on the moon. Now you can't do that. But what if you could decide today to be the first person to ever go become financially independent and free? What if you decided today in your family, your home, your community, what if you became the very first person to break that vicious cycle of unhealthy living? You became the first person to, create scholarships for the people that are in your community. You become the first of whatever you're dreaming and desiring to be. Because remember, when God made you, he broke the mold, which means stop copying other people. Stop trying to live somebody else's assignment. Something inside of you, right, sovereignly made, gifted, wonderfully made, beautifully made, means that you alone are designed to orchestrate a revolution that is birthed out of your vision and dream that nobody else can cause other than you. Have you yet been captured by the cause? That thing that you're an advocate for, an evangelist for, that thing that you're willing to march for, that when everybody else is silent, something about you is running towards the mountains to say, if I've conquered the mountain, then so can you. Speaking about leadership, there's another portion I love in Scripture that talks about really two types of people in heaven. Talks about a person that just teaches, and then it talks about in the same Scripture people that do and teach, meaning people that set an example. So you got to be asking yourself, when you leave this conference today, are you going to continue to be a person that just teaches and expects others to get it done? Because the Scripture actually placed high value on one of these two groups. Here's what he says. The person that does and teaches is great in the kingdom of God. I don't want you to just go through life teaching. That's important. But I want you to go through life doing and teaching. What is that? Setting example. Remembering that leadership is the type of person that not just once again tells people what to do, barks a bunch of instructions, but lives every single day, in the ups and the downs. They don't just see how you handle the high moments in life, but when life is low, when crisis sets in, how are you handling this pandemic? When the entire social network that you're connected to looks at you, what are the things you're posting? What is your social media, which is the megaphone of your heart? What does it say about your appetite? What's it saying about your courage? What does it say about your faith? This company, in such a time as this, is providing you and I an incredible platform to be a voice in a very broken world. Why? We've got unparalleled products. We've got people like Dr. Joshua Plant, man, that's just absolutely continuing to disrupt the status quo and to allow us to go out there and represent wellness at the highest of capacity. And then the Cougars back all that incredible unparalleled product up with a massive compensation plan and says, hey, how about sharing your story with courage? You know what a leadership is? Leadership is courage. That's all it is. It's not direction. You're going to get it wrong 1,000 times. Leadership is about knowing that you're not living for a title. You're living to just simply tell people, follow me, imitate me, do as I do. In other words, I'll get it wrong from time to time, but I'm courageously pursuing this thing we call life unlimited. Greatness is your destiny. I want to make a declaration over your life today, almost a prophetic word that says to you, no more days of unproductivity. No more days of being unproductive. No more days of lack and scarcity. No more days of being subjected to anything less than what God has called you to do. Anything less than what you've placed as a target on your dream board, your vision board. The things that are inside of you that you know that you've got to materialize and bring to pass, right? Because destiny is not off in some far future. Destiny is locked up inside. Your future is locked up inside. Remember, faith isn't something that's coming to you. Faith is something that is coming out of you. It means that something about you believes in the finished product, and through the process and the navigating of the complexities of life, you stand your ground knowing that God has called you for such a time as this. You know, as I come to a close, I want to tell you where I believe we are in this very transitional moment in our life. Jesus finds Peter at a time in his life on the bank where he had fished all night long, and the Bible says he was tired, he was worn out, and he caught no fish. Now here's what's crazy. Peter was an excellent and an expert at fishing. If anybody should have caught something, should have been Peter. You know, maybe you feel that way today. Tired, worn out, and completely exhausted. Maybe it's because you've been beat by this pandemic. Maybe it's because something about your life is you know, family issues, or just society in general is weighing down on you in such an incredible way that you can feel it crushing. But I'll remind you that it's the crushing, you know, that produces the wine. It's the crushing that reveals the harvest. Remember, one does not squeeze a lemon to destroy it, but rather to reveal what's on the inside. When you feel adversity crushing you, it's simply to reveal the destiny that God deposited into your life. Peter, like most of us, even in network marketing sometimes, think that we know how to do it right all the time. And Peter finds himself at a predicament in life, at a crossroad in life, where he was working hard and had nothing to show for it, but the master steps onto the scene and offers an instruction. Remember, if you're connected to me, you know that I teach this profoundly every single day, that the rewards that you're seeking in life are on the other end of an obeyed instruction. I don't care what reward, I don't care what promise, doesn't matter to me what you're reading, everything right in this world, we have laws of proximity, the laws of attraction. So many laws that help us measure and guarantee success or even failure if they're disobeyed. But in the kingdom, there's also instructions. These instructions are God's incredible way of saying, if you obey this, if you do this. I'm here to tell you that for many of you, you've done all the right things. You've invited the right people. You've been working, and through transition and a paradigm shift in your life, God's about ready to bring you out of agony and place you in a position of acknowledgement. He's about ready to bring you out of obscurity and place you in a position of notability. Trouble is your transportation. Oh my, well, I'm about to get excited up in here, Chris. So I want you to remember, here's the master standing before Peter, and he gives him an instruction. He says, Peter, you've been toiling all that long, but I want you to go back and launch out into the deep. Peter, for just a brief moment, puts on his fisherman's hat as if to correct the master and says, we've been fishing all night, but nevertheless, at thy word. We know the story. The scripture says that Peter launches out into the deep, lets down his net, and the Bible says that he experienced a net-breaking harvest. So big that the people in his proximity had to bring their boats over, and not just was he blessed to an overflowing nature, but everyone that was around him experienced the same blessing of increase and supernatural abundance simply because they were in the proximity of Peter. I'm here to tell you that you're getting ready to enter a net-breaking harvest. I can hear the voice. I can hear the voice of God saying, launch out into those uncharted waters and immerse yourself in the richness of life. The things that used to scare you, I feel courage bubbling up inside of your spirit because you're connected to the right people, connected to the right company. God has ordained you for such a time as this. And your season is now. Are you going to be a travel agent? Or are you going to be a tour guide? Guys, I love you. I thank you. I can't wait to see all of you at Summit. And more importantly, I can't wait to hear all the incredible stories that arrive out of the culture of your team and organization as you go forth and birth a revival full of warriors of faith that are going out and truly changing the world on a global scale.
Woo! I told you. We know how to start an event. We know how to close an event. Kevin, thanks for throwing some fire and some wisdom, man. You always know how to do it. I appreciate your leadership and being a part of this incredible team, this incredible company. And team, as we finish this virtual event, I want to throw out a competition, if you will, an incentive, and that is simply this. Any of you, and it starts right now, all the way into the end of the cycle, or Friday, from now until Friday, any of you that create a consultant. So we want to be a consultant factory. We want to use the things we need to do that Jason talked about earlier and the wisdom that other leaders provided us today. And we want to create a consultant factory. And the person that creates the most consultants, personal consultants, from now until Friday, you're just going to submit on Facebook Messenger to me on Saturday of next week, how many personal consultants you have created. And you're to send the number, we'll confirm it and so forth. The person with the most is going to get an AMP pack. So the AMP performance line that so we can't even fully get, we're going to get that to you. And then any of you that create a consultant this week, Saturday, now until Saturday, you are going to go into a drawing. So you're just going to submit that you created a consultant. If you do 2, you get your name in twice. And you're also going to get an AMP performance pack, the performance products. And I'm excited for you to test those, try those. Maybe you have somebody in mind you want to buy that wants to buy those. But it's about taking action. It's about being a product to product, using all this vision, this direction, all of this value and content that you have been given today. And let's go out and help somebody. Let's go out and be the one for someone, because we can always be the one for someone. So get your hopes up. Know that your best days are just ahead and something good is going to happen. Y'all have a great rest of the weekend.
Transformations are for everyone.